Christina, Universe Citizen presents In the Beginning 13, October 7, 2023. Conceptualization of the fundamental, central behaviors of conceptual universe. Everything, all interrelationships, understanding and comprehending, articulated and unarticulated, the as yet to be discovered and discovered, the consciously apprehended, potentially comprehended by humans, are in universe. Logically, all aspects, interactions, transactions in the human condition require a definition of universe, because it is within which the whole, WHOLE, all the interaccommodating parts are mathematically, geometrically, topologically, conceptually designed in generalized principle by the eternal omniscient mind as a function of metaphysical intellect's astute discernment applicable to omnirational local problem-solving concerns in the human condition. Omnirational, omnicomprehensive intellect refers to the universe, uppercase U, as our starting point as we consider and reconsider any problem. This requires starting with the whole, WHOLE, to logically reach any cosmic to local system. The differentiating process temporarily considers the little bit of universe that is occurring locally to our individual metaphysical intellect and physical brains, curiosities, interest. Interest is attracted by discernible aspects of the articulations recurring, reenacting, or seemingly never having happened before event field. The field is local to systemic thoughts, metaphysical, generalized conceptioning. The generalized content of disseminated information induces metaphysical, generalized conceptioning. Human intellect is designed in principle for generalized conceptioning. We conceptualize universe's events independent of size, the time, size, articulation. Notice here the word choices that ordinarily are not stated throughout our supposedly civilized societies' information gathering, cosmic to local problem-solving functions of metaphysical intellect. Nevertheless, metaphysical intellect operates consciously as a function of omnirational universe. Instead, invented words, the nomenclature and syntax that suffice to express our humanity's adaptations to the manifest forms ordinarily omit the most relevant terminology that can directly describe potentially more accurate definitions of the problems most comprehensively considered solution. The universe that we know so little about is also the unpredicted behavior that can be referred to as its sub-level synergetics. Synergetics is a relatively unfamiliar word to the generations of humans over the ages who have written and spoken about observed events throughout the human condition. The word synergetic comes from synergy, which is the behavior of the whole, WHOLE, that is unpredictable by the parts when the parts are separately considered. So the term is not only relatively new to most of us, so too is our humanity's potential understanding of any system's behavior. We do not yet know that in universe there is a minimum system, a whole, WHOLE, triangle, an economic regenerating pattern that consists of 3 edges and 3 individually and independently unstable angles. The 6 components that we have been educated to give little thought to as the belief complexities of the inherited P, R, J, W, B, C, H, and potentially inundate all aspects of living life on Earth. PRJWBCHM, politics, religion, justice, war, belief complexes, hierarchical matrix. In other words, throughout our coexistence in supposedly civilized societies, humans are taught to believe what we are told, not to conceptualize systems of universe. The minimum whole, WHOLE, triangle, stable, structural behavior to which our individual metaphysical intellect as a function of omnirational universe refers systemic thoughts, generalized conceptioning, without the essential terminology such as the minimum stable structural behavior of whole triangles. Humans nonetheless are involved in the continual communications process. The process of communication is continuous and is a natural information sharing function correlating to anticipatory survival. Doing so, however, will not result in omnirationally observed experiential resolutions of problems to inherent nuclei. Such resolution requires the geometry of the nucleus, which R. Buckminster Fuller's synergetics primarily is, rather than the geometry of chemistry, mostly. Synergetics is conceptualization of the fundamental central behaviors of conceptual universe. Instead, the irrational interrelations perplexing our humanity's always partially overlapping generations can indefinitely preoccupy the human observer's local problem-solving functioning in non-identically repetitive reenacting articulating scenarios. We are perpetually frustrated in searches of the omnirational, synergetic solutions when the essential terminology is unknown and is supplanted by belief system nomenclature. We are experientially, experimentally, persistently involved in contributing to the reenacting articulation's hopelessness without any chance of reducing the tolerance magnitudes of those residual inaccuracies of observation and articulation. Cosmologically, humans must start with universe knowledgeable of what synergetics provides. In quotes, synergetics provide a geometrical conceptuality in respect to energy quanta, end quote. The geometry of the nucleus is the conceptual access to the energy quanta. Therefore, to accomplish this relatively easier task is by awareness of the vector equilibrium, which is the maximum domain of a nucleus. Not being solid, but nucleated tetrahedrally, this minimum structural system of universe turns inside out correlatively to frequency to the second power times 10 plus 2. Obviously, even though our most devoutly intuitive awareness and deeper interested curiosity of universe's eternal omniscient mind that historically is referred to by the inadequate sound word God requires a nuclear domain and elementality. You and I cannot hope to find the very mind of us in any political system, any thus far innovated religion, any justice system, during any war game, enacting hierarchical belief complexities as dubiously contrived matrix substitutions. Now, though, we can begin anew by starting with universe. In the self-discovery process, we come across the principle of universal integrity. Is this the economical effectiveness that is always missing from the PRJWBCHM? If so, then gravity's integrative nature of universe will always be greater than radiation's disintegrative distributiveness, even though, and mostly throughout the universal communications process, we are not consciously aware of these eternal phenomena, as we are perpetually involved with hopeless reenacting articulations that accelerate to extremes of utter futility to refocus our essential energy on irrationally induced and irrationally reenacting problems in the human condition. We struggle again and again and again to pinpoint the crux of such matters that take away the very freedoms we are designed in principle to conceptualize, and that when unknown, literally and technically destroy life on earth in pursuits imposed thus that have little to nothing relative to the TLBSWME, truth, love, beauty, symmetry, wisdom, maximum economy of system awareness, systems thinking, awareness and conceptuality of manifest ratios and potential ratios throughout universe's energy field, intertransformative relationships, the relations of quantum values. To be continued in the beginning 14. Thank you. Reference Synergetics 200.04, Synergetics 304, Synergetics 419.10 through .13, Synergetics 541.07, Principle of Universal Integrity, Synergetics 614.05.